Hey everyone, and welcome to this week's weekly options watch list. Hopefully, you all are having a wonderful Easter today, and are looking forward to getting back to trading here come Monday. Due to it being Easter today, I'm going to make this watch list pretty short and sweet. Don't want to spend too much time on the computer today, so we'll just break down the ES here and then get into the actual 5 plays that I'm looking at for the upcoming week. So if we look here in the daily time frame, the ES, we can notice a few things that are setting up. So we can see we do not have stacked DMAs. We're in a distribution stage, and it is looking like we are going to fire this low compression squeeze to the downside. And then if we look at the actual structure of price action, we can see we have this daily squeeze fire to the upside, touched the +2 ATR, reverted right back down to the 21 EMA, and now it looks to be rejecting this 21 EMA here to the downside. So I do think we easily could go retest these previous lows that we had here in the market, just due to the overall structure still looking relatively bearish in my opinion. And then if we also come to a weekly time frame, this is leading me to believe that we are more bearish as well. We are getting this bearish momentum on the squeeze histogram with the low compression squeeze. We also could not break out of this +1 ATR in the weekly time frame and actually are closing back down below the 21 and the 50 simple. We're in a deceleration stage, which is bearish, and we do not have stacked DMAs, which is basically neutral. But overall, its structure is definitely more bearish than bullish, so I will be looking at more shorts than longs, but I do still have a few longs for this week. So that being said, I'll just get into the plays that I'm looking at for the upcoming week, and that will be starting off with ABNB, and this one is actually to the upside. It has had some weird price action here recently with some kind of dramatic swings up and down, but that being said, I do like a few things about it. If we come here on the daily time frame, we can see we got this pop up to 2 ATR, reverted, and it looks like we're trying to hold above this 21 EMA. Ideally, would love to see a retest of it with this squeeze developing, and that would be your ideal entry to get long. So I think if we can revert back down to the 21 and hold that level, it would be a great place to get entries on this one to the upside. Another reason I like it is that if we come to the weekly time frame, I know we don't have any stacked DMAs in our deceleration stage, but the main thing I'm watching is this high compression squeeze here on the weekly time frame, and our price action is holding above the 21 EMA. So that is telling me that we definitely could have this weekly squeeze fired to the upside, retesting these previous highs here. So that's the reason why I like Airbnb this week. The next one here is going to be Charter. I had that on last week, but it is still a valid trade to the downside. So we can see we have negatively stacked EMAs, deceleration stage as well, high compression squeeze with that histogram below the zero line, and we're in a clear downtrend, and we're closing and continuously rejecting that 21 EMA to the downside. So this one is setting up very nicely for another fall back below. Ideally, it would be this support right around, what is that, 550. If it can break that level, I think you could see definitely more selling coming into Charter in the upcoming weeks. Next one here on the list is Oxy to the upside. So anything in the energy sector is looking very strong compared to everything else in the market. Oxy to me is the best looking one, but other ones look good as well. If you go to Marathon or CVX or any of those ones also look solid, or you could just play XLE, the energy sector themselves, because all of them do look good. But that being said, I have my eye on Oxy here. We have positively stacked DMAs. We're in an acceleration stage. We're starting to slingshot on this squeeze, getting out of that bearish momentum into gaining bullish momentum, and our structure here is just absolutely perfect. Been holding at 21 EMA here perfectly, barely even trying to test below it, but now we're holding this 8 EMA, so look for an entry anywhere between the 8 and the 21 in my opinion, because I think that the energy sector could keep continuing going higher and higher. Next one here to the downside is SE. This thing has been absolutely decimated since its all-time highs with just straight downward trend. If we zoom in a little bit here, We can see that we have negatively stacked EMAs, good bearish momentum on the squeeze, with the price action holding below that 21. Ideally, I would say look for a bounce to the 8 EMA here, because it looks to be rejecting that level to take an entry, and then always be looking for, I'd say, probably these previous lows for a place to take profits on this one to the downside. And last but not least here, we got Smartsheet to the downside as well. Good downtrend on it here. We also have negatively stacked DMAs, price action once again below that 21, and this squeeze histogram is looking to start to go below that 0 line, and we are losing that bullish momentum. So I do think this one, just like SE, could go retest those previous lows with that squeeze helping it get there. So that's the watch list for this week. Hopefully gives you all a few other things to be looking at. And once again, hopefully you all had a wonderful Easter. And let's get out there on Monday and start making some money.